Gary. Definitely not a poet reader, but very interested in music. And actually, we invite Gary every year. I want to say something about that. Maybe it's not the right moment, but in some way, I do a lot of education. We do a lot of rock music, and as we know, education is difficult in art. I think it's difficult. It's difficult to get it right, to get it adventurous, to get it crazy enough to try things. Especially in Holland, rock and roll is something to be reinvented. I guess there are some great people, of course. There's some great painters. I think in Holland we have some great painters. But for music, we sometimes think, act normal, get a job, cut your hair. And there are always people, some people just outside the book, outside the rules, they have this fierce kind of energy, this fierce kind of do things differently, do things adventurous. I never met Don Van Vliet. I learned to know his music a little bit by Gary and checking the internet, starting to listen to records. Of course I knew Ry Cooder, I knew a lot of musicians. Then I've met a great friend of mine who's teaching at the school, René van Barneveld. He's one of the, I think, the greatest guitar players Holland has. Of course there are more, but he's a very intense guy. They made a show with Frank Lammers, who's sitting there, a great actor, great voice. And they made this music very alive for me, and I started looking into it more and more. But even before that, I got Gary every year to school, because when he plays his acoustic guitar, it's like haunted, and it's like daring, rhythmically, unexpected, fierce. Sometimes, you know, you never think, is it this, or is it that, or is it out of tune, or it's just there. And I think, I hope he got a lot from that from Don. And we have to keep this fire alive at education. If we ever, any art education it is. And I want to thank you for that and keep the flame going.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to read a poem. I do it on iPad because I'm trying to be modern, but it's actually, I went into city to buy the poetry of both Beefheart, but it was not possible. They only have biographies. One man's sentence. Inside a Tibet, on the small duplex tile, shadow of my hand made a movie. Wolfhead, the dangling cigarette, made a long fire-tipped tube, resembling a smoking fan, which curled from his mouth to my mouth, then slowly into the peeled back tiny mouth of the flaky animal ceiling above my shaggy head. A test of endurance metered by what were things changing this fast. I drowned the soggy creature, threw his wet bed out of the bath chiller, trembling as it was a small room. With a very large open window, he bounced and disappeared over the sill into morning, aching and yawning, like a neglected tooth that took root in both night and day. This is new for me, so the other thing is tulip. Of course, we're Dutch. It could be a tremendously black upside-down tulip. It could be a black fish's tail. It could be a day artistically crimped, brilliant, and it's taped to get away.
That was